Good morning, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen, just for fun, okay? Let me extend a warm welcome to all of you coming to our event. So this will be the Town Singapore first meetup, right? If not, I'm not remember correctly, incorrect. So I'm Aris from Modal, and I'll be doing a brief welcome speech for all of you. So today's event will be covering a lot of thrilling topics, including like why you need to have your project running on the open network, which is the Town Foundations. So we'll also have Bilson to introduce some of the security problems and the solutions on DeFi projects. And after that, we'll also have a short workshop. So you will have some hands-on experience through that. And lastly, we'll also have some investment topics from DACM. So before the starting of today's program, I would like to introduce some of the house rules of this BitTalk space. So for this space, our event we're having on the first floor, and this the restricted space on level 2. So just keep in this space to not disturb like other staffs who are still working here. And secondly, we also have some food snacks over there on the back shelf and in the vending machine, but keep maximum at 2 to share some with other people coming for this event. And for the food on the desk, the pizzas, chicken puffs, and also the beers are over there. Just feel free to take. Yeah. And for the washrooms, ladies are over there, and for males are on these directions. So, and that's all about our house rules. So many of you may not very familiar with Modal, so let me just briefly introduce what we do. Yeah, so Modal is actually a developer community that is initiated in 2021 August. So basically what we do is to connect and develop budding entrepreneurs in this space to facilitate the collaborative efforts towards building the Web3 space. So we believe that all the individuals have the right to be empowered and have their potential realized and maximized. Have a lack of connections and resources should not stop anyone from realizing their aspirations. In doing so, we can benefit the blockchain space in a whole. So while our mission is to empower those undiscovered talents in the blockchain space to realize their potential and to add in their growth and development in the blockchain ecosystems. So we aim to do so by building an interactive platform, which is our Modal website. So you can just search Modal in your browsers, and the first one will be our official website. So what we have on our website is basically four sections. The first one is Mall Gather. So today's offline salons is actually counted in the Mall Gathers. So we have offline, online events. We have like hackathons, demo days that are welcome all the developers to join. And we also have Mall Starter. So Mall Starter is a place that projects they can showcase on our website. So some of the long-tail projects, they can also get donated on the platforms by others who like their projects. And for more learners, it's actually a Web3 courses. We have English and Chinese courses for those who want to switch from Web2 to Web3, and those who are very freshmen in Web3 space but wanted to learn a lot. So this one we are currently running the second series of Chinese course. It will be 8 weeks, and for every week we will have 5 courses happening. Yeah, and lastly will be more career. So during this long journey, we are reaching to different projects. We find that there are a lot of talents, they are finding jobs, and there are a lot of HRs, they want to find the talents. So finally we want to build these talent pools to benefit each parties in this space. So all of the 4 sectors, they are actually interact and connect together. Yes, as you can see in this loop, we want to people like they meet each other, build connections during the mall gather events, and after that, some of them like who are very professional in this space, they will be instructors. They will teaching courses in our mall learners, and also to build their own IPs in the Web3 space. And after that, some of the projects, some of the people, they form groups and participate in hackathons. They will come to our mall starters to showcase their projects and also participate in demo days, hackathons to get more resources. And lastly, some of the students, maybe they learned and they grew their own professionalism through the mall learners, through the mall starters. They will be deemed as the talents, and they will finally reach to our more career talent pool. Yeah, this is the donation platform of our more status. And this is the more learner. This is the first series of our Chinese Web3 courses, and it gains a lot of good feedbacks from all the industry partners. Yeah. And soon, like in the future, sometimes we will also have our more NFTs. So just stay tuned. We'll have our like SBTs to represent your belongingness to more DAO community. Yeah, and this is some of our past workshops. And we'll have a lot of events happening in the futures. And these are our partners. Okay. And without further ado, I would like to hand over the time to Lucy, who will be our MCs for tonight's events. Yeah. Lucy is from Town Foundation.
Hi. I'm Lucy from Tom Foundation, and I'm usually based in Seoul, but I fly here to organize this event with Sophie. Say hi to Sophie. Sophie is also Tom member, and we are doing growth lead position in Tom, and right now we are touring the Asia market like Vietnam, Bali, Singapore, Korea, some of the other countries. Like Sophie is based in Bangkok. So let me introduce about the TON. So TON is layer 1 blockchain designed by Telegram team, but right now we are not together but have a very good relationship and partnership. Yeah, in TON ecosystem we have more than 530 apps right now. And TON Foundation is operated as a DAO. So we are very decentralized. And we have an ad wallet in the Telegram. So I will try to airdrop some TON coins, a little TON coins to you guys. So you guys can experience ad wallet. Have you ever heard of ad wallet or used before? Yeah, some of you guys. Yeah, please join in the Telegram. Then I will airdrop tiny TON coins, but it's airdrop. So in the Telegram, when you search at wallet, then there is wallet comes up, and it's TON blockchain wallet. Right now you can send the BTC, Tether, right now, and TON coin. Yeah. So there is feature called check. So I can make multiple check and send it to you guys. Are you guys are here? When you click the button here in the group chat, then you can make your ad wallet directly with just one click. and get the Ton coins. Yeah, in my wallet, I see like who received the like coins. Yeah, 10 people received. Yes. Yeah, it's pretty easy, right? You guys have a Ton wallet right now. So the next. Yeah. So this is our on-chain data. TBL, we have 15 million TBL right now, and active account is, right now we have more than 3 million accounts in Ton ecosystem. And this is our Ton ecosystem. We are still growing very rapidly, and also we are looking for a new project very actively. And this is what Sophie and I right now doing. We are doing like trying to building Asia hub in like more than 5 countries in here. So like we are trying to building more than like 600 community members, and like every week we are touring each country and organizing events like this. So we have a community. We are trying to find some education partner, and we are like allocate some grants to good projects, and also we have an incubation program right now. And that QR code is our Asia Hub Twitter. So please follow Twitter, and I hope you guys see in the other events. So from here, this is about the funding opportunity, and I will pass mic to Sophie, and please Sophie come here and introduce.
Hi guys, thanks for coming, thanks for joining. Yeah. Okay. So actually we have a lot of like growth opportunities in our ecosystem. So actually Ton is developer focused chain, and we aim to incentivize and support a lot of activities such as the hackathons. We have series of hackathons right now. We have hackathons with partnership with GWF and AWS. In Singapore, we'll have a demo day during the Token 2049. So actually we launched the acceleration program around maybe 2 months ago, and we already selected around like 8 projects in the first cohort. It's focusing on the broad directions such as scalable DeFi, such as the SocialFi, GameFi projects, which should be natively built on Ton. And we also considering the multi-chain approaches for projects who wanna build something on Ton. We also have the grants opportunities for some Ton native incentive, or maybe some community incentive, and partners who want to build something natively on Ton or bootstrap ecosystem. So this is developer portrait portal. So we actually, as far as I mentioned, we are a developer focused chain. We actually have 460 active builders right now, and we actually, our developer activity right now increased about like a 15% from the previous per quarter, and we pretty growing fast in terms of all the developers incentive. So actually, we have all the documentation and some information you may find on ton.org/docs. We actually have today our DevRel from the Ton Foundation, who will share more insights in terms of the building on the open network and using the TVM chain. We actually using the major, so the fifth and the FONC is low-level languages. FONC and fifth is more like a C-oriented chain. It's like a C-based chain, but it's a different one. Right now, we released, not long time ago, maybe just 3 months ago, we released the TAC language. And actually, TAC is much easier than, it's like a high-level language. It's much easier than the FONC, so even non-technical person could like code a smart contract for maybe just 20 minutes. Actually, as far as I mentioned, we have developers, a lot of developers incentive around, and we focused a lot on incentivize and build the developer activity and bootstrap the builders as much as we can. We're actually hosting the developer bootcamp during the Korean Blockchain Week. So the bootcamp designed to, actually there is a 3-day course. Anyone can learn and join. Any builder who had experience or maybe don't have any experience before on tech, it's no matter. It's open for everyone. And any builders can join and participate to the bootcamp and build a product from zero to final product. And we actually aim to support the growth and grow the project further with our acceleration program, with the grants. So we're pretty supportive in this case. So the bootcamp will take place on the end of August until the 1st of September in Korea. And before that, we have a lot of, like, as far as Lucy mentioned about our plans in Asia, we actually building the community hubs in different cities and countries across the whole Asia. So we already spanned a great workshop and meetup in Seoul. Right now we're in Singapore, gathered all the amazing community, and we hopefully will continue hosting something on a regular basis here. Actually, we're planning to host some workshop in Thailand in August, in 8th of August. Then we move to Philippines to host and to build and activate some community incentive there, and then we will be in Bali. And then we come to Korea to our bootcamp. Also, that's not all. It's just we also have the ambassador program. So if you want, you could join as ambassador and like spread the knowledge and spread some interesting stuff about Don. And that's pretty much it from my side. Please join us in our group chat, or like if you have any ideas, requests, please feel free to reach us with Lucy. We're happy to answer any of your questions. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your attention. We have another speaker, right? It's a Mark, or it's Biosyn. Guys, I'm very happy to introduce you our partners. Is a Biosyn, and yeah, we're really thankful for their support. And yeah, let me give the mic to Tommy.
Thank you, Sophia. Yeah, good night, everyone, and thanks for coming. And we are also partner for MoreDAO. So today we are going to talk about DeFi problems in security problems. So why DeFi security problem is very important, because you guys know last year FTX collapsed, so many people take their money back from SEX to wallet. So more and more people use self-custodian wallet to store their assets. So they also use decentralized exchange to do the trading. So more and more people are using DeFi. So more and more hacks happens on DeFi. So we're ready. So let's first get a brief statistic for the last year's hacks in the overall Web3 world. So there were 3.6 billion assets lost due to all types of events. It also includes the centralized exchange. So near half of the loss was because of what was increase compared with 2021, because last year was still a bull market, so there are more money lost. But DeFi product accounts for nearly 70% of the total attacks. So take some example. Last year, April, rolling. So Axie Infinity sidechain got hacked. It was the biggest hacks during the whole year. And also there are some wallet, for example, Solana's wallet and also BNB chain also got hacked. So it's very important. And luckily, Tong is very safe, so they don't got any very big hacks. But it's still very important as more and more developers are moving to different chains. For example, some are EVM, some are Move language, and some are Rust language. So Rust language like Tong and Solana, yes, Definitely they also use Rust language. So different languages have different vulnerabilities. So today we are mainly talk about EVM and the Rust ecosystem. And besides that, so a lot of hackers, so they hack your money, right? They need to find a way to launder their money in order to get their dirty money out so they can use it. So why is it very important to do the money laundering for hackers? For example, if hackers hack DeFi protocols and withdraw all their money, first it will go to a wallet, right? Or you guys can check the money on the Ether scan or BNB scan, so on the block scanners. And so all the security companies like Bills and also they check their money flow. So after the money get to a hacker's wallet, it will use different ways to make it clean and make it hard to trace. So first technique is to use a Tornado Cash, which is a mixer. It's the most famous one, but there are also other kinds of mixers. So they will transfer money inside the mixers, and then you cannot trace because it will split all this money into small amount, and then it will go from a different address. So these terms can also be very similar to nowadays very common discussed zero knowledge proof technologies. Because for the zero knowledge proof is to help you to make it private, right? But it can also help hackers to hide their paths for different fund flow. So how to increase the chance to trace the money getting to the mixer. So nowadays a lot of people use AI and big data. So we can also use the AI and big data to check the money getting into the mixer. So like in this time, some certain amount of money getting to the mixer, and after some time, different money get out from the mixers. So you use the calculation to check if this sum, the money, and equal or similar to that sum of the money. Because the fund into the mixer, there are certain types of time to execute it, to mix it. So by doing the statistic, you can find it. But still not a good way to check it. So it is very important for us to trace the money. And how to do that? So first is to have, from the regulation part. So they need to make sure that most centralized exchange have KYC. So for example, Hong Kong, Singapore, they all give license to some exchange. So for all those kind of exchange, they get license, they get KYC. So once money comes from address associated with the exchange, you can find a way to know who it belongs to. Right? And from data, there were 14 billion assets associated with crime. Also, like we are in the South Asia, there are a lot of online gambling platforms, like in Philippines, in Myanmar. They all use USDT on Tron. I don't know why they use Tron, but a lot of people use Tron to deposit money for the online gambling platforms. And then it's very hard to trace, right? Even they rug pull your money, you cannot trace because you don't know who this address associated with. So it is very important to prevent. It's also a big problem for the Web3, and a lot of people want to get in because of this problem. So I will try to make the data part be simplified. So this is for the DeFi protocols, most common types of vulnerabilities. We can say the first biggest one, so it accounts on more than 90% is business logic flow. So what is business logic flow? For example, you design lending protocols. People lend you some tokens, and they can withdraw some token, and you use something to collect as a collateral, right? But maybe this collateral is not as worth as you think, and sometimes hackers, they can utilize these characteristics to lend a lot of money, but with very little amount as collateral. So this is called flash loan attack. So take some common example. The most famous example last year was UST and Luna, right? So because by their business logic design, if the common scenario, people will lend USDT by collecting the Luna token. Only if Luna token is not too low. But but because of some of the very complex reasons, the Luna price dropped a lot. So people all redeem their UST and get back their Luna and sell it. So it decoupled, and the Luna price keep going down, and the UST price keep going down, and it makes their pair decoupled. And also, for example, but it's not originally the DeFi design, but like a stable coin. So early this year, so because of the collapse of the Silicon Bank, there's rumors that USDC, they have a lot of assets in the Silicon Bank. So so about maybe I saw it's below 20%. So people just panic sell. And also, DAI, another decentralized stable coin, also drops a lot because DAI said we also have some asset in USDC format, so they also dropped a lot. So it happens a lot. Just take some not so accurate examples to make it more easy to understand. So like DeFi protocols, you have many different assets. You need to make sure that you need to think of the worst scenario and how you can solve it. If you cannot solve it, hackers or some market makers, but the bad market makers, they will use a lot of capitals to manipulate your protocols and will cause your token price go to zero. Yeah. So second is like access control. So this is very easy to understand. The second one. So it's like a rolling teams. So they have some NPC, right? But hackers use some techniques to attack their servers and get part of their NPC. And I think it's more than 50%. So they can control the whole protocols. They can define it, and they can approve the transaction. So hackers just approve all the transactions to their hackers wallet, and they all get all the cross chains asset into the hacker's wallet. So it's a very common thing. And some are just very little, very less common thing. So I'll skip it. And so let's see. So what if you got hacked? So the industry is getting better because there are like Bilson or BlockSec or some individual hackers. They are working on tracing the asset, assets attacked by hackers. So near half of the stolen asset were successfully recovered. So you may wonder why hackers want to give back the money. So one thing is some hackers, they just want to show off. Because hackers, if they are really talented, they are already very rich. They just want to show off, okay, I can hack you. And they just hack your protocols and take about 10 to 20% as their price. So they call it bounty. and they give back to you the another thing. And usually the hacked project will just say, okay, you keep that money, okay, as the price I give you. And besides is that security companies like us and also like BlackSec, we also have the so-called block technique. So you can think that we are also hacking like a hacker, but we are white hat hackers. So once we notice there are some abnormal capital flow, we will hack it and hack to our wallet, and we will tell the project, okay, we help you to hack from hackers hacking, and then give back to the hacked project. But we also take some profit as our commission. So it's like a white hat hackers. And besides that, there are some hackers, they are not very skillful, not very experienced. They just withdraw the money to the centralized exchange. I mentioned like centralized exchange, they got KYC, right? So the victim just report to police, so I got hacked. So the police will just track the stolen asset. And once they found that this money get into centralized exchange, for example, Binance or KX, they will contact the exchange. So hey, this money is a black money. You should frozen it. So usually the exchange will just hold on the withdrawal process and do a scanning for the fund. So trace back the money. And say, okay, this really comes from a hacker's wallet address. So they will just frozen and give back to the victims. So that's how the money get back to the victims. And another thing is called rug pulls. So start from April this year, there are a lot of meme coins, and still many meme coins now. And most of them are some like Ethereum, Polygon, or BNB chains. I don't know. I think Tom not a lot of meme coins, but BNB chain I can see there are many meme coins. And you see you have Pepe, right? Pepe is we cannot call it meme coin anymore because it's already big. But they're like a Pepe chain, Pepe 2.0, Pepe Doge, Pepe Wojak. So all kinds of shit coins, so-called shit coins. Yeah. They will launch the token like within 10 hours, and you will see the price go up like 100% or 1000% within just one day. And people, some KOLs, they don't check, and also some communities, some so-called alpha community, they will say, oh, this token is the next Pepe, so everyone will get in. And once they say, okay, you guys get in, so the project team will just rock it. So how they rock? Because they launch the new tokens, they don't do audit. Because they don't want audit. They just want you to get in, and also a lot of projects are built by only maybe a team. So for example, they launch Pepe 1.0, Pepe 2.0, but they all built by one team. They just copy the previous contract, change the name, and buy a Twitter account, buy a lot of followers, do some fake airdrops, and then they just launch it, and you will see the price go up a lot. And then they can change the backdoor of the contract. They can stop you from selling, because in their contract they can have blacklist function. So they can blacklist your address. So you buy the token, but you can never sell it. So this, we can say this is like a still some they have some good doing, but the worst thing is that they just shut down all the websites, shut down their contracts. So all your money they take away, the rug pull. So rug pull means the rug the pull, right? So all your assets they take away. So so I think that's most of the DeFi's security things, and I will just take maybe 2 minutes to talk about what Built-in do. So we are a blockchain security company founded 5 years ago, and we already audit more than 3,000 smart contracts. So some famous clients like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, MakerDAO, so a lot of DeFi protocols. And also we support different chains, all EVM, Solana, Ton, Arbitrum, yeah. And so besides that, this is a project we are going to beta launch soon. So it's called Built-in Eagle Eye. actually it's already launched, but we are going to upgrade, and also we are going to launch a Telegram bot built on Tom. What we are going to do with this platform because as I mentioned, there are a lot of shitcoins. So we will use automatic tools combined with AI to scan the new contract created within the last 1 hour, tell you if there are some backdoors or there are blacklist functions, or if there are some hackers address or some we can say that big market makers wills behind the contract address to tell you if it's a safe one or not. So next time when you go for some shitcoins, you know that it's safe. At least you won't be rug-pulled. And besides that, this is for the institution. So we provide this service to Hashkey and BNB chain. So it's like you withdraw the money to some, you all transfer some money to some wallet address, and you don't know if this is a bad guy or good guy, because a lot of people, their Telegram account got hacked. Previously, maybe previous months, a lot of people's Telegram account got hacked. So the hackers will use their Telegram account to ask everyone, okay, I'm in trouble, transfer me some money, or you are a OTC service provider. They will just use your account to give the fake address to the different your client, and you transfer. It's a real thing, and did a lot of money, and you can do nothing. So next time you can use our tool to check if this address is a blacklist address, so you won't be scammed anymore. What if you really get scammed? We really have the trace system to help you trace all the money and tell you where this money goes to. For example, in the right side, we tell you it go to Binance or OKX something, so you can contact them to get your money back. And as Tom's partner, we support Tom's ecosystem lot. So this is a hackathon they host a few months ago, and we provide the training course and the charge for the participant, and tell them how to develop safer DeFi protocols on Tom. So that's all our global partners and clients. So Mordao is also our long-term partners. And also, we are going to teach the course in Nanyang Technology University later this year as the official partner for their blockchain master program. Yeah, so we're also going to host a more online and offline course in the future. I think the last page. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Tommy, for speaking. Yeah, next is we are gonna connect to the Google Meet, and we invited Tom Foundation, Deborah, Mark. We are Ton. Ton is non-EVM chain, and what is Ton? Still, we are curious about the technology of Ton, right? So Mark gonna share about the Ton technology. So let's connect to the Mark.
In the meanwhile, we are waiting for the speakers, we can just have some snacks on the tables and maybe just rest for a few minutes. And we'll be waiting for very exciting workshops about the town foundations.
So Mark is here.
Hey guys. Hi. How you doing? How's the event going? Yeah, I can hear you guys. And I hope the event is going well. Oh, nice. Now I can see you too. Yeah, great to see you guys. So, a lot of good talks about Tom so far.
Yes, we did.
Super. So, if I start sharing the screen, are you going to see it? Like, I guess I have a presentation, right? Is it fine? Lucy? So I'm sharing the screen, just wanted to make sure that
Yes.
you guys can see.
Yeah, you can share the screen.
Okay,
Yeah, we can see very well.
awesome. So, let me just welcome everyone here. My name is Mark, and I work for Tom Foundation in a DevRel, as a manager of DevRel. So we have a big team of DevRels that are making sure that the developers who are capable of doing something on Web3 are joining Ton. The developers who already build on Ton, that they have all the best conditions possible. So we work on that daily, weekly, and yeah, so I'm here today to give you a bit of a look on how cool is Ton technically. So as far as I understood, we have a lot of guys who are more from a business part of the building process. So my mission today is kind of give you a glance to understand what is so cool about Ton technically, so you could possibly motivate your developers, your dev team, or even yourself to actually go and read and try to build something on Ton. So that's basically my agenda today. And if we're talking about how I can do that, so I'm going to talk about on-chain greatness of Ton in the first place, and then I'm going to talk about certain business value delivery channels that are mostly kind of like off-chain. They're usually about front end and user devices, etc. So basically, we will have kind of like two parts, but they're correlating with each other. And my goal is that at the end of this 30-minute speech that I have now, you will better understand certain things about Ton, and you will know exactly what to do if you want to start building it. So, important thing is that Ton is not just it's not just a coin, right? So Ton is more of a network. So we have certain services like Ton Sites, Ton Proxy, Ton DNS, Ton Storage, and the coin and the blockchain. It's kind of like a backbone of the whole ecosystem. And if you want to compare it to other chains, like, so first we had Bitcoin. It was like a censorship-resistant digital cash. And then we had Ethereum that was kind of more developers friendly. So it was kind of like programmable digital cash. So we could have smart contracts and program certain logic on-chain. So Ton is a network that is driven by programmable digital cash. And it's going to be a long, interesting journey for each of you who will dig into what things are already in place and what things are already working. But of course, Ton Coin is something very important in the middle of it. And the smart contract, it's something very important that is actually delivering the Ton Coin's existence for us. So it's important to understand that in Ton, technically, Ton is functioning as a actor model. So in Ethereum, for example, in EVMs, the contracts could easily talk to each other. Like in the same block, you could ask the state of another contract, know it inside of it, and this would be finalized in the same block. All of this, like asking the method from other contracts, etc. this is not scalable. This is not scalable, and in Ton, it rather works as a asynchronous way. So the contracts are talking to each other with messages that actually form the transactions. So one contract could ask something from another contract, and it's possible that the answer will never come back. So if we get the blockchain and we look from top, two requests, like when you're asking something from a contract and when you get something from it could be in different blocks or different shards. So this is making it possible to scale infinitely. So it's making it possible for us to actually onboard hundreds of millions of users potentially in the future, because if we are starting with this in mind, the mass adoption, we should actually make solutions that are ready for that. Why to start in the first place if we are not capable of that? And we are. Ton is capable of that. So I will give you a simple example. So, for example, in Ethereum, everyone knows what is token, right? So whatever token running on Ethereum, the token itself, technically, this is just a contract, single contract. And this is a contract that has like, this address has this amount of money, this address has this amount of money, etc. So in Ton, the very same concept, token, is implemented in a very different way. Each of the wallet, for each of the user, this is a separate contract. And this means that we don't have a bottleneck as one single contract. So imagine if you have 1 million users. So first, you would have to store all the 1 million addresses in one contract. And second, you would, every time you interact with it, you would have to navigate through that. So it's first, you have to store them there, which is expensive for a network. And second, you would have to, like the time expensive would be the time of interaction with it. Of course, the speed goes down. And in Ton, because every time you want to know the balance of certain user, you can simply access this single contract. So it's able to be scalable across the whole network. So every of the transactions of this interaction can be in different charts, in different blocks. So like this very fact of being functioning as an actual model just gives us infinite scalability technically. So I'm sharing this with you because I want you to believe that. I want you to understand that we are aiming at this, at onboarding this amount of users, and we are technically capable of doing that. So another cool concept I wanted to tell you is the memory, because when I was saying that it's expensive to store so much on the so much addresses in case you have like 1 million holders, it is expensive to do that. So why this would be expensive? You could still technically do this on Ton, but it's like there are much better ways to do it, and they're more handy in Ton. So the memory itself, we call it memory layout. It's kind of like it all starts with one single cell. So cell is simply like a row of bits, right? So you have 1025 bits, maybe 23, I can't remember exactly, but this is one cell, and you could just chain them as a tree. So you store all the data of your contract in the tree-like structure. So you know what exactly is the structure inside of it, but we have a layout that everyone is following. So the more data you store there, the more expensive it is to keep this contract on the network. So this is why, to make it lightning fast, we fragmentize the whole logic. Like we fragmentize this, like once we build the app, we want to make sure that this memory is not all in one place. And the technical structure is actually helping with that a lot. So maybe this was a few concepts that I wanted to share with you from the on-chain part. But a cool thing that I wanted to share with you that is like, we need to build products around that, right? So there is much more very, very cool stuff about Ton from the on-chain perspective, but we don't have infinite time here, right? So let's talk about how to deliver this on-chain functionality that we are talking about, how to deliver it to the end user. So everyone knows what is the concept of dApps, like just a front-end application that is using the backend, like contracts, smart contracts, as backend. So, but the thing is, dApps it's usual. So on the whole Web3, you can get dApps in every possible chain. It's possible to build it. But in Ton, how to say it, we love Telegram. We just, because we are designed the way like to bring big amount of users. We are doing so much to make it ready for potential users who are going to be onboarded, like from the Telegram user base. So we are making it technically possible. And those, we are watching closely on what Telegram does in terms of the functionality inside of it. So there's a very cool concept called Telegram Web Apps. I know the mini apps was like the boom was 2-3 years ago with WeChat and like super apps, etc. But this is something different. So it is basically enabling the end user to bypass this moment of authorization, because once the user already is inside of your like Telegram bot and you open this web app, the user is automatically authorized. You don't need to ask for some authorization. You're already at this moment, you're having the point of contact with the person. You can know that this person has this name and username and ID, right? So once you start utilizing that, and you start, just like I said, so you have the Telegram user session. Once you start utilizing that, you're able to onboard many users from channels, from different groups, from the like private chats. You're able to actually have them, like onboard them into your business logic. And here we also, like one of the biggest examples is the actual Telegram web app called @Wallet. But @Wallet, it's a Telegram web app that is custodial wallet on, it can hold Ton, USDT or Bitcoin. And at the moment, like just recently it was announced by @Wallet team that now you are able to pay, the @Wallet Pay functionality was released. So you're able to pay inside of your TVAs, inside of your Telegram web apps, you're able to accept payments from users in crypto. Of course, there's some more functionality that that enable you to pay with other crypto wallets, with Ton native wallets, etc. But I'm not here to go into all the details. I'm here to introduce some of the concepts you might not heard of, but this is something crazy important. So basically, if we kind of summarize a little bit, so we have the cool blockchain technology, which is also part of the bigger ecosystem. We're not digging into the Ton storage, DNS, Ton sites. We're not digging into that, but the blockchain technology, which is like a piece of gold, it's important how scalable it is, how efficient it is by itself. And then we get a concept of getting interaction with this potential hundreds of millions of users. So basically, if I had to build a team of, if I had a crazy business idea and I had to build a team, I would have to have a blockchain developer, and I would have to have a web developer who would utilize this Telegram web app concept. So in this way, I could keep the user journey, like the buying journey, or how you want, you can call it whatever you want. I would keep it on the same surface, in the same line, so my business would be more efficient. So, and basically, this is my advice for each of you, that you guys should start building on the open network. So one of the greatest plays to actually have a first touch as a builder, not just as a businessman who wants to know the numbers and wants to know the general concepts. If you want to start building, if you're serious about that. So this is the page that I featured, ton.org/dApp. And it is great that, just like I said, there's two core two core directions. So you can start building web apps, and especially Telegram web apps. So there's a number of SDKs that are already supported. So you can actually just go around and connect to each of them. And then you can get a lot of examples of what is specific to Telegram web apps and how you could just make your app capable of connecting with other wallets. So in Ton, it's one of the most user-friendly wallet to app interactions that I ever saw in crypto. And this is definitely worth taking a look at. And I really advise you to go ahead and try it. So here on the portal that I'm showing you right now, yeah, we have one direction is building web apps, and another direction is developing smart contracts. So there is a great tool that is kind of bringing together the blockchain language, the TACT, like the language we are programming on, bringing it together with TypeScript to kind of like test. So you program some logic, you do the test, so you simulate it locally, and only then you deploy it. And Blueprint SDK, it's taking care of everything. And connecting with tests and deploying it, so you should definitely take a look at it. If you want to go in a very like deep way of programming, this is Fancy. So Fancy is one of the mainstream ways to program now, but TACT is better ways to get on board, to get around, and to actually program your first logic that you're going to have. So this is a great place to start as a builder. You probably will want some inspiration on like what is already existing there, what is already built on the ecosystem, what is not. So a good place I would advise you to visit would be tone.app. So here you could just go around and see which central exchanges are supporting Tone. You could go around and see explorers that how to actually go and see the blockchain, what's going on there, how to see the transactions. A great thing to learn about is the wallets as well. So the wallets, we have good list of wallets that you can try and play around with. Yeah, so this is a good place to actually start your journey when it comes to the learning the product that's like the products that are already there in the ecosystem. So this is probably something I wanted to share with you for the first part of my time, and I will maybe stop sharing now, and I want to talk to you. So if someone has some questions, I would be super happy if you guide me into the topic that you want to talk more about, because I bet you want to know more about certain parts of the presentation.
Anybody have a question? Okay.
I want to know more about the consensus algorithm behind Ton and how, especially the part you said, contract interaction with messages where request and response can fall into different block. So how is it different from the consensus with Ethereum, and what's pretty much that. And how does it achieve that scalability?
Sorry, I think I didn't get the first part of the question. If you could repeat,
so
someone could repeat for me.
Yeah, just want to know what's the consensus mechanism of Ton network? The consensus. So how?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure we can just break down the whole consensus structure. So we are proof of stake. This is just the very little that I can say about it, but the way TVM functions and the way TVM is making sure of all the signings of transactions. You could write a book about that. That's exactly what the Durham's brothers they did. So I think so. The way what consensus is doing is basically proving certain transactions, certain signings, right? So in Ton, it is to understand this part, you also need to understand how the authorizations are made on the TVM. So a lot of times you wouldn't need even to all interactions between contracts, you don't have to actually authorize them because TVM is authorizing them for you. So whenever message is coming from one contract to another, you don't have to check the authorization part of it. So I don't know, maybe if that's going right direction of what you wanted to know, or which part of it you want to talk more about?
It's fine. I guess it's too complicated. I can just follow myself. Sorry.
Okay, sure. Yeah, feel free to outreach if you want to learn more about it. You saw my contacts there, so feel free to outreach. We can talk about it if you would need some help.
Hello, hi. So I'm going to ask the second question. Given that Ton is tightly knitted with Telegram, so maybe you can evaluate this idea and how you will build it out. So if channel owners want somebody to pay a monthly fee in Ton for access to the channel, how would this be done?
So basically, this is more of a Telegram functionality that we're talking about. So at the moment, there is a number of products that are actually implementing that. So you would, if let's say, if you want to build a product, it's one thing. If you want to just understand how to do it for your channel, it's another thing. And also, I believe you want to understand how to accept tons as a payment, right? So Telegram doesn't have Ton integrated that much yet that you could pay for the membership of the channel in tons. But there are products like bots, Telegram bots, that you could configure it to work for your group, for the private group. And the user would have to pay, and there are Telegram bots that are accepting this in tons, the payment in tons. So for the private group, the bot would have to get a payment from the user, and then he would kick the user from the group if user didn't make a payment. So with Wallet Pay, it's now possible to make these payments inside of Telegram, not going out of Telegram. So you're using the Wallet Pay, the Telegram bot functionality, and you're able to build a bot that is checking the users who did payment and those who didn't, and kick them out. So I don't know, I hope this answers your question. This is a really valid business case, and it is actually possible to build this right now, but not on Telegram channels, rather Telegram private groups. And that's what's done a lot of times. Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. Is there anybody have more questions? Anybody have a question? Okay.
Maybe I can ask a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan to build something, or you plan to invest in something? Just if you can raise your hand if you want to build something in crypto, just like with builders, get a team together, program. Okay, and can you rate? Okay, cool. And who is here to invest?
Nobody?
Everyone.
Oh, there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, at least we got some people. That's great. So if we have, I think we have how much more minutes? We have 7 more minutes. So does it make sense for you what I was going through, like where to start with? So basically, if you want to build something on Ton, here's some great idea. Like one gentleman just suggested an idea that we could have a Telegram something that would control if the user paid or not paid for the membership in the group. So does it make sense for you how to build this on Ton now?
Anybody wants to share your idea?
If you want, if it's interesting for you, I can break it down what I would do, like in, let's say, 5, 6 steps.
Sorry, yeah, I'm the one who asked, so yes, please go ahead. I would like to hear.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So basically, what I would do is, first you need to build a Telegram bot, because the best way to interact with users on Telegram, the first touch, is a Telegram bot, okay? It's like, first touch with a custom logic that you want. So you figure out how to build a Telegram bot. So you will have to go to botfather to get a token, program a little bit of logic, and this all you can do just with Node.js. You don't need any Web3 stuff, just Node.js, Python, whatever stack you want, you can go. So you would build a bot that would welcome the user and tell him that the user has to pay. And that's one thing. So you would have one application, it's a Telegram bot. The second thing, you would need to build a web app just with React, or Vue.js, and any JavaScript you want. So you would build a web app that would function as a TVA. So you would need to connect a TVA library. And once this web app is opening inside of Telegram, so Telegram enables you to create a button that opens the web app inside of your Telegram bot. So once this web app that you've written in React, absolutely Web2 stuff, once you launch it, you can see the session. You can see the name of the user. You can see his username, the ID. So basically, you have the bot. The user just come into the bot, click start, and you tell him, look, you can have membership in my group for as much as 10 tons per month. So he will ask, okay, how do I pay? And you say, here's the button, and the web app opens inside of Telegram. So inside of web app, you already know the username of the guy. You know the ID, and you ask him to pay in tons. You say, pay me 10 tons. So you store in database, did the user pay or not? So you're using the wallet SDK to actually enable user to put this money inside of this TVA. And once this happens, you will automatically add the user into the group. So you will need to figure out how to enable the user adding. So you'll probably have to give him invite link if he paid. And then on your backend, on the server, you would watch every month that he actually made this payment. And if he didn't, you would kick him out of the group. So it's 90% Web2 stuff and 10% Web3 stuff. This particular business idea that we just discussed. But there is, this is why I wanted to talk to you not just about blockchain stuff, but also about Web2 stuff, because in like Telegram plus Ton, it's a great combination. So you don't have to build too much on the blockchain, but at the same time, your users would be onboarded quite well because it would be something familiar for them. So this way, I could spend the whole day with you. Unfortunately, I'm not there in Singapore. I could spend a whole evening with you just breaking down some ideas, brainstorming with you. But I really encourage you to join the dev chats. So the ladies from Foundation who are there among you, so they can show you how to join the community. And if you join the community, you could always you can even tag me in the dev groups, just tag Mark Ockman, and I will come and answer your questions. So I hope this made you, I hope this half an hour, I gave you a bit of a glance on what does it mean what actually Tone means as an on-chain tool, what it means as what kind of delivery channels it tends to use for bringing the business value. And we even broke down one idea, which was 90% Web2, but anyways. Yeah, so I enjoyed, and I hope at least some of you did too, so.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, guys, I wish you a very good rest of the evening, and keep building. See you guys.
See you. Bye bye. Thank you so much, Mark. Yeah. So. Yeah, that was Mark. And we have one more speaker left. Last and the least, next is Darren from the ACM, Head of Trading, and they are pawn investors. So let's listen about their thesis, why they invest in the open network. Hi, Darren.
Hi everyone, thanks again. I'm Darren from the ACM. So today I'm going to talk about the investment thesis of how the ACM come about, why we invested in the open network. But to begin, to get some context, I'll probably jump into more like some context on the ACM altogether, and I guess this might probably set some foundation on how we come about this investment thesis. Testing. Yeah, sorry. So essentially, the ACM is a city-based crypto fund. So we run multiple strategies, namely with our flagship fund, mainly the long-only fund, and we run a market-neutral fund and a venture capital fund itself. So across the three funds within the ACM, it's we are managing $500 million AUM all across. Yeah, and I think the core thesis within the investment team itself, when we come about an investment idea, essentially it lays back to relative value or peer analysis of relative projects, and ultimately, some of the side ventures that we run, like our own infrastructures, our own personal infrastructure, we run our own validator nodes. So this kind of coagulates the foundation all about on why we invest in specific projects, how we look at things itself. Yeah. So I think if just going straight into Ton, I think majority might have known Ton itself is a layer 1 decentralized blockchain, and I think so. Back then, it was first developed by the Telegram team in 2017, and then the transition being they managed to raise. They managed to raise through the IEO's period of time. They managed to raise about $1.7 billion at that point of time, and this amount of money actually was kind of classified by the SEC as a security. And this kind of halted the whole procedure, the whole process of the race altogether. And with this in mind, along the period of time, there was different developments in these chapters of sort. Different development teams tried to take over the project, and ultimately it was the CEO of the CEO kind of forking it, the original layer 1. And again, back together with the Telegram CEO altogether, this whole project come to fruition, and these days it's currently run by, it's community driven. Yeah, and so I think more on how we look at it is essentially like token of. Sorry, let me refer to some statistics to be more accurate. Yeah, so ultimately, right, I think Mark may have shared Ton itself, it's running on a continuous sharding mechanism altogether. So what this essentially means is they're trying to optimize transaction processes, transaction nodes, and from this we actually push about, we are able to push about like TPS, right, what we call in transaction per seconds. And I think the Ton itself, it's able to achieve 1 million as compared to relative peers in the sector like Solana, like Aptos. So for example, Solana, it's currently running. Solana is running on 60 on a theoretical TPS, right? Solana is running on 60,000. Aptos is running on 160,000. Ethereum, the ERC20, right? It's running on 100,000 TPS itself. And because of this, this throughput capacity, right? It's a very attractive feature that we look at quite a lot. Ultimately, again, we focus a lot on infrastructures. I think one of the guys just now asking about consensus mechanism. So I think consensus. So I think in the early days, Thorn was running on proof of work. Then along proof of work, essentially that is the methodology of distributing the tokens in a decentralized fashion. And once they achieve the maximum distribution, they kind of transited over to a delegated proof of stake. So essentially, I'm voting for a validator to go about running on the network altogether. Hope it answers your question just now. So to us, we kind of feel like this whole token model itself, essentially the token itself has two use cases. One being itself as gas fees to compute for smart contract purposes, and essentially the next one it's for staking tokens for validators. So back down on validators, essentially you need to run for validators you need to run 600,000 pieces of Thorn tokens as compared to like peer comparisons, right? Ethereum it's on like ERC20 is on you need to stake 32. Solana, it's at 50,000 Solana pieces of token, and Aptos being relatively expensive at 1 million pieces of Aptos tokens. So it's although Thorn itself, I mean, it's at 600, about 600 grand right now. But this also means that it increases your security. Your validators are required to put up this substantial amount of capital to run the validating nodes. So you can know that they are essentially as vested altogether. To us, how we look at peer analysis on various projects altogether, it's when we look at like in picture of Telegram, again, I think where they come about, it's although this is not something that was being brought up right now. I mean, it's not a confirmed case altogether. But essentially, with this, what we can see is a potential on crypto adoption of users, right? Given that Telegram is currently sitting on 920 million users itself. So this adoption itself, should it ever happens, you can see your total addressable market. What we look at, the transition from this user kind of transits over to from your Telegram user platform, transiting over to crypto adoption itself. We thought this is something very meaningful. The number is very strong, and ultimately, I mean, this is something that you tend to ask yourself the next question. In the current market environment itself, what is going to be the next use case? What's the next adoption that kind of draws on the next 100 plus million users into the sector itself? So this we kind of relate this as kind of like a super app in that sense. I think on more on tokenomics is also on the token supply. So I think as I shared just now, back in June itself, Thorn was used to run on a proof of work consensus, and they kind of over the course of 2 years itself, they kind of transited of distribution, like doing a daily distribution of 200,000 Thorn pieces to the miners, and we kind of so, and the thing is, back in December 2022 itself, we kind of see this transition where post proof of work consensus transition into the delegated proof of stake consensus, right? There was actually a proposal that was being put up in place. This proposal was essentially to freeze a good 20% of the total supply, to freeze this 20% token supply itself. So I think some of the other use cases is essentially your I think what was being shared so far was the Telegram wallet itself. This is something right now, I mean, you can use it to transfer Bitcoin, USDT through USD. And I think the other use product that I think hasn't been mentioned so far, it's Fragment as well. So Fragment is a kind of a Ton-based marketplace that essentially is you can go about bidding for name services or even like virtual telegram, like virtual numbers. So in this case, you can kind of use it to create like a Telegram account without the use of a SIM card in that sense. And ultimately, we kind of view like these two current cases, and I mean on top of that, there's a whole bunch of decentralized apps. But I guess right now, I mean in the current scene itself, the Fragment and the wallet itself, one of the few use cases that are applicable and it's more significant. Yeah. I think to us overall, just to sum up everything, we look at Ton quite closely, and we have been big backholders of Ton since the start of the year. Yeah, so we kind of view like this adoption from should the case be like the Telegram users adoptions transits over to crypto, we think this is going to be something very substantial, and this is something that's going to drive the next market for the project to go up to perhaps maybe top 20 at least of the market cap itself. Yeah, so I think that's how we come about this whole investment thesis all about. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Darren, for sharing your thesis. So yeah, this is our last session, and right now, like we gonna like memorize today's event. So let's take a picture together. Like let's come here up together. Let's come to the front. And let's take a picture. And after we can keep eating food and talk, networking.